Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hi, I'm Jason, with Jason Pollock. I am not Jason. Join Jason and Justin back in the green room as they talk with some of their favorite folks from the entertainment industry. And now, the man you haven't been waiting for, Jason Pollock!
Thank you, Justin, for having me. Well, it's my show, but thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. I'm a nervous wreck. We have an icon on the show. Let's take care of the housekeeping and bring this gentleman out.
We do. Let's keep it tight, folks, okay? So if you're watching over on Twitch, you already know what you're doing. But if you're not watching on Twitch, you're someone who enjoys Twitch, be sure to follow us over there on twitch.tv/Hi, I'm Jason P. The P stands for Pollock, or it could stand for podcast. It could stand for many things. It doesn't stand for urine, though. So again, twitch.tv/Hi, I'm Jason P. If you are watching us on YouTube, hello. If you want to check out some of our past episodes, go on over to YouTube and just go into the search bar and look for Hi, I'm Jason. And lastly, if you want to know what we are doing before we actually do it, before we go live, make sure you are over on Facebook and following our page and making sure that you've clicked the notifications, so that way we are letting you know what's going on, staying in the loop by going to facebook.com/Jason and Justin. And Jason, I know it's been like a month since I've been on the show proper, so it's great to be back.
You're much better at doing that than I am. Justin, really looking forward to you meeting our guest. He's a legend. We might as well have Spielberg on. Let's just bring him out, the president of Troma Films, Mr. LLoyd Kaufman.
Yay! What an honor!
The studio audience is back.
The audience, right?
Thank you so much for taking the time.
I got plenty. I got plenty of time. Don't worry. Although I'll be dead soon. Justin, I understand, a famous opera singer, and you do a little Forza del Destino for us.
Oh my goodness! If I had Robert Merrill with me to do that beautiful duet, I
saw Merrill do it when I was.
Oh my goodness, Merrill and why am I forgetting his name? Pierce. They do that duet. It makes you weep. I'll tell you. But I won't do that. But how about a little Neapolitan for you, Lloyd?
Yeah,
here we go. A little Neapolitan. Here we go. A little something for you. Ma tu sole che un bello ne, o sole mio, sta in fronte a te, o sole mio, sta in fronte a te. Stai in fronte a te.
L'chaim, that was beautiful.
You hit, in Ralph Camden's words, you hit the high note. Right? Honeymooners.
That I did.
Alice, I'm going to hit the high note. I'm going to hit the high note. Right? It's a wonderful episode of the Honeymooners. That was great. Justin,
thank you very much. I'll tell you, and nothing like having a good weeping clown in the middle of it too. It was almost Pagliacci there for a moment.
I love Pagliacci. That's for short. We always play that one with the what's the one they play it with, the
Cavalleria Rusticana.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Sorry, Jason. We're gonna have an opera talk instead.
One comment Paul Vaughn just said, "I'm Jason and I don't talk." How could I? I can't interrupt.
You didn't expect that from the man who brought you blood-sucking freaks, and
I know.
And the toxic Avenger.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of opera, Jason and Justin, hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm, my recent oeuvre, which is being rejected by every film festival, and was produced by the commissioner, who might make an appearance. The basic theme song, or the romantic theme song, was taken from Samson and Delilah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Mon cœur ouvre à toi.
That's such a beautiful melody.
Isn't it?
It absolutely is. It drips. It romantico. It does. I mean, and
See,
to be in such a film, that's exciting. And I think that film, one of the, I think Jason's in this also, aren't you? Shakespeare. Shitstorm?
I was in one scene with you, with Lloyd. I was dancing.
Hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm, please.
And hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm.
Forgive me.
Based on The Tempest.
Yes, sir.
I got to tell you, that was I've done several indie films and a few walk-ons in major motion pictures, and that was by far the most fun film set I've ever been part of. I spent 3 days on set with you guys, and it was just a freaking treat.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it because I had vertigo at the end.
God.
I made it to the last day, and I had 3 days of like the room spinning and.
So that wasn't acting.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, but it was a treat to be directed by you, to see you in action.
Well, thank you.
The first day I walked into the set, Zach Amico comes up to me and he said, "Welcome, I'm glad you're here. We're about to do a scene where there's an eating contest. They're going to throw up real vomit. You can hang out here and watch. You can wait in the holding area."
Oh, my God.
I said, this is exactly what I expected from my first day on a Troma set.
That was not in the script either. That was Kaufman, our head of special effects. He just, I don't know why, but at this point in his life, he seemed to be very obsessed with these contests where people eat so much and then they puke. So he came over to make an appearance, and then I said, "Well, let's go, let's do it," because it's in Prospero's headquarters, so why not? Production value, any kind of production value.
It's cheaper to do real vomit than to have fake.
Well, the thing is, I think people are going to wonder about it. How did we do the CGI? Because we're literally facing Nadia, the blonde woman who was spewing, and it just kept coming, and it couldn't have been CGI. It couldn't have been fake. And they're going to wonder how we made it so realistic. Spielberg's probably going to be calling up, asking, everybody's doing it.
I hope I didn't give away any spoilers.
Oh, no, don't worry.
I say no. It's a very Stanislavski set. I'll tell you. It's authentic here.
Yeah, it couldn't be realer. Well, thank you for donating your time. It's very nice of you.
Oh, it was amazing. Just to be part of it. And it was, everybody on the set was so incredibly professional, at least that I've encountered. Between Zach, Doug, you obviously.
Creative team. Did you meet the commissioner, my wife, who produced?
I did. Is your wife a fan of your films as well? She'd have to be.
Well, she produced hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm. One of the 3 producers, Justin Martell and John Brennan and Pat Sweeney Kaufman.
Your wife was one of the nicest people. I've never been on it. That's the thing. I've never been on a set like that where there was so devoid of ego. At least
there's only one narcissist on my set. I'm your narcissist, as we say.
So I have a question for you, Lloyd. Just because I'm pretty new to your films, Jason is such a huge fan, and he's really got me kind of. He's stacked up my list of films of yours to watch. But of course, Toxic Avenger being probably I think maybe the entry drug to your films for a lot of new watchers.
That's true.
But I do have to ask. We started right at talking about your latest feature. But let's start at the beginning. What is it that got you into all of this? What is it that made you want to do film and film this way?
Well, first of all, I'm wearing Lemmy's hat, and so let us dedicate this wonderful podcast to the great Lemmy from Motorhead, who appeared in 8 or 10 of our movies, and very sweet guy, and we all miss him. He pretended to be gruff and kind of nuts, but he
gentle
was a
giant,
good guy, very good guy. Anyway, I made the mistake of going to Yale University, where I was put in a room with a movie nut who who ran the Yale Film Society, and our beds were very close together. It's a very small bedroom, and I inhaled at night. I inhaled his Godard stinking feet, and Roma du Troma was born. I drifted into the Film Society screenings, which were primarily auteur directors, and there was John Ford and Howard Hawks, and Jerry Lewis and Stan Brakhage, the greatest visual artist of my lifetime, Jean Renoir, Fritz Lang, those kinds of.
Right.
There'd be 3 other people in the auditorium, but I just kept getting knocked out. And finally, one evening, I was trolling for dates in the auditorium, and they showed To Be or Not to Be by Ernst Lubitsch, which, so if you want to blame, and it was during that very movie, in the dark, I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to make movies. It was as easy as getting up from this divan or whatever it is, going to the icebox and cracking open a beer. It just was, and I never turned back. And they, the Film Society at Yale had a big stack because they were auteur worshippers. They had a big stack of Cinematheque magazines, the Cahiers de Cinema, and it's in French, and I speak fluent French, and so I started reading that stuff written by Godard and Chabrol and others, René, also Alain René, and I stupidly decided I'd stay in New York and be in the underground.
But look what you've done. Look what you've accomplished, though. So it made it work.
What, Commissioner? What? Oh, sorry, she's on with the governor. Get me the governor. My wife was 20 years the New York State Film Commissioner, and in spite of Troma, in spite of me, drunkard and drug addict.
I mean, look, all the people she's met. She went at all these filmmakers. You're the one she went with. God bless.
Well, it's been on. She thought I was rich.
And then not only that, I mean, you started with these greats, and then you launched your careers to some. You helped James Gunn and Trey Parker and these.
Yep, I'm in some of their films too. In fact, if you have you seen the recent Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Well, did you see my big cameo?
I want to say I did. I remember.
You did.
I don't remember the scene, but I loved that his Suicide Squad. I didn't like anything before that, but this new Suicide Squad was excellent.
He's a talented dude, I must say, no question about it. Anyway,
and you were in Guardians as well.
If you see it again, you will see. You'll see. You can't miss me. Although you did miss me.
I didn't. I don't remember so much. Well, look, I'm 49. You know, my memory isn't what it used to be. But
Prevagen.
Oh, I was going to take the Tempest. It might help me grow.
Tempest. Yeah, Tempest is better. By the way, if you gentlemen want to see #Shakespeare Shitstorm, if you email me, I'd be happy to send you a link. Lloyd K at Troma, TROMA.com. LLoydK. You have to use the K at Troma.com. And I'll be happy to
amazing.
Remind me, be happy to send you a link.
I would love to see it. I went to see a screening at the Atlantic City New Jersey Horror Con. I loved it. It was original. It was so much fun. I loved your message throughout the movie about the crybabies. I just thought it was such a great movie.
You liked it?
I really enjoyed it. I was so proud just to be part of it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, sing it to the world. And could you see yourself?
I did. I saw myself doing this. I made the scene.
Yay. Yay.
Granted, I couldn't be there on the day when everybody convulsed and mutated. That would have been a treat, but
well, you got a pretty good taste of it and a pretty good smell, if I remember correctly.
and I also got some. Oh yeah, yeah. I got some hot sauce from Purple Pam as well.
Oh, great! Toxie's Elixir, right?
Toxie's Elixir, which is, if anybody watching needs a good hot sauce, Toxie's Elixir is outstanding.
I agree. I use it myself. It's not too strong, and it's kind of green. I mean, it's wonderful. It's not, it's subtle. It's really great. No joke.
Oh, absolutely.
Where are you, Joe? Where do you reside? Or where are you?
We're both in Mount Holly, New Jersey. Justin is originally from Philadelphia, which you have a history with a Philadelphia icon too, don't you?
I sure do. My film school was a little movie called Rocky, and then another movie you might have heard of called Saturday Night Fever. Those two were my film. Pretty much well, actually, that's not true because I worked on Joe with Peter Boyle and Susan Sarandon, their first movie, directed by Mr. John. And we got along, so then he promoted me on Cry Uncle. No, actually, I worked for him for free for a while. And when Avildsen got the gig to do Cry Uncle, suddenly there I was, production manager. I knew absolutely nothing. I didn't go to film school except for, Robert Edelstein at the Yale Film Society. So I slept in the office. Cry Uncle had an office. If you want to see Cry Uncle, it shows you the talent of John Avildsen because he took a sleazy paperback book that was supposed to be made into kind of a softcore takeoff on James Bond or detective. And instead, Avildsen hired David Odell, who went on to write a number of Hollywood movies, including, I can't remember. But anyway, you can look him up. They're a great guy. And
that's a great ringtone.
Isn't that lovely? And
it's very subtle. Very.
It's great at funerals. It's wonderful. When it's deep, when the thing is deep, all my friends are dying, and I had that happen once. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about that. I just turned it off. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying, but I'm sure
you're telling us about the Peter Boyle, Susan Sarandon movie.
Yeah, well, anyway, Cry Uncle, which you can see on Troma now, our streaming platform. It's the future, but now. Cry Uncle, made in, I think, 1971, in which I have a pretty good part, too. It's a hilarious takeoff on film noirs, like Seven Dead, what is it? Any rate, it's a Cry Terror, Cry Uncle. And it's hilarious, and you can see it on Troma now on our streaming service.
Jeremy Madlock geared me towards Troma now, and by the way, he told me to tell you hello. He's the Justin. Jeremy is the Chicago Toxic Avenger.
Oh, Jeremy's great. Please give him a mop salute.
I sure will. And there's so much fun to be had. I've gained so much weight watching Troma now.
Oh, great! Are you watching it?
Yeah. Well, not this moment, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's so much content on there.
Yeah, it's great. It's all sorts of. We discovered James Gunn and Trey Parker and Samuel Jackson and Matt Stone and Oliver Stone and many others. And and there's those films, as well as recent brilliant new directors, the new James Gunns of the world. Mercedes the Muse, she wrote, directed, and stars in Divide and Conquer. I'm not sure how to. It's kind of a modern feminist, the new feminism. Let's put it that way. The new feminism.
Is that a new movie?
That's going to be opening in LA in December. That's not sure of the week.
Oh, I will absolutely support.
Yes, thank you. Mercedes the Muse, I think she's got a great career. Also, the guy who wrote hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm produced his new movie called The Final Beginning, Slashing Part 2. It's a wonderful film. And actually, Brandon Bassam and Mercedes the Muse, their films are getting into quite a number of festivals. Whereas
so many people who came from you, Addison Binek, who did Psycho Ape. What a fun film!
Oh,
I met him on I met so many amazing people on set of Shakespeare Shitstorm.
Isn't that great?
It was so exciting. And every time someone finds out I even remotely talk to someone from Troma, they say, "How do you get to pitch a movie to Troma?" And what I said, I don't know. I have no idea. But so many people, I was approached by a guy. They said, "You have Lloyd Kaufman on your show. I want to write a movie that's it's a View Askew Troma combo. How do I go about pitching this?"
That's terrific. Unfortunately, I only read one-of-a-kind scripts. So if anybody has a one-of-a-kind, any genre that we can do for below $500,000 that is truly different and has a certain theme to it, something, something to say, I don't know what I'm going to direct next. Nothing's really caught my. I've produced several movies, which are hopefully coming out.
I got sent.
Did you meet Liam Regan by any chance?
I didn't meet Liam. I haven't met that person.
He came over from England, and I'm producing his new movie. He has a movie on Troma now called My Bloody Banjo. Very good.
The title alone is amazing.
I mean, Steve Martin, needs to see it. Steve plays with him.
Yes.
It's great. Anyway, I am producing Liam's new movie, Eating Mrs. Campbell, and Justin, the producer, one of the 3 Shakespeare Shitstorm producers, has a cameo, just shot a cameo in Sheffield, England Troma's running on fumes, but somehow thanks to our fans like you, Jason, we keep going.
Well, thanks. I'm glad I could help.
We are fan fueled. There's no question about it. People think we're this big company. We've got about 6 people, maybe 8 or 10 people maximum, and it's the fans really. They find the theaters. They put us on to publishers. Toxie, the book James Gunn and I wrote, All I Need to Know About Filmmaking, I Learned from the Toxic Avenger, has a beautiful, hey, nice.
Damn movie.
Thank you. Anyway, All I Need to Know About Filmmaking, I Learned from the Toxic Avenger. There's a beautiful Spanish language, much nicer than the Putnam version, that has just come out in Spain, and they sent us a box of Spanish language versions of that book.
Wow.
Actually, the book you're holding, somehow somebody bought the rights for China, and which is pretty unusual because everything's bootlegged over there.
It's a really informative book. It really is, because
I'm with you. I agree. It's also pretty funny too.
Yeah, it's some great stories about terra firma, and among other things.
Did you do you know Trent Hager's movies?
I know who he is. Yeah, I don't know. I never met him, but I know who he is.
One of the writers, but he's gone on to make a movie called 68 Kill, which is also based on a book, but it's fabulous, terrific.
Wait a minute, that one I've heard of.
Yeah. Oh, it was in I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah. Yes.
It may have been in Sundance, but the guy who stars in Criminal Minds, very sweet guy who loves Troma. It's terrific. You ought to see it. It's wonderful. Really good characters. It's a kind of only one real location and small number of characters, but it just sizzles. It's really good. And I think Trent Hager is going to be another James Gunn. No question about it.
Oh yeah, I saw 68 Kill. I remember.
Oh, good.
I thought it was really gory and fun. Then I saw it was Trent Hager and said, "Oh my God, it's a Troma guy, of course."
Yeah, he wrote Citizen Toxie, The Toxic Avenger Part 4, and he wrote it on his honeymoon. The artistic inspiration.
It never stops. It never stops.
It just oozes.
I was going to say, honeymoons have a way of getting certain juices flowing, I guess.
Well, it's the magic of art, you know, of doing something meaningful that isn't just formulaic and that, you know, is risky, and that probably when we first presented Toxic Avenger to the world of exhibition, nobody saluted. And then a year later, there was a buying frenzy. So you know, we really do have movies of the future. Troma Now, in fact, is the future, but now.
So in fact,
I love that.
I'm scrolling on Troma Now right now, and it's funny because there's one of your films is one that has been on my radar, but again, I don't know these things until, of course, I'm talking to, you know, the people right in front of me, like right now, and it leads me to a question. Has anyone ever approached you about doing Cannibal the Musical as a staged production?
Well, funny you should ask, but Jason McHugh, sorry, the producer of Cannibal the Musical, we carved out we gave him back the theatrical rights, and there is quite a number of performances of Cannibal the Musical. So he's sent us some royal, you know, whatever you call it, percentage, and people love it. And I would not be surprised if there would be a Broadway. Toxic Avenger was made into a Broadway.
I know.
I saw that premiere on Georgetown. It was like more characters than there were actors, and I don't know how you did the quick change so fast.
Well, I can't take any credit. It's David Bryan and Joe DiPietro and David Bryan. Both of whom are incredibly talented. And if you go to Netflix now, they wrote the musical Diana about the wonderful princess, and it's terrific. The commissioner and I watched it a couple of nights ago. It's going to open on Broadway. It's interesting. They're giving you a month on Netflix, and then it opens a month later, November 4th, on Broadway. And I think it's going to be I predict 8 Tonys, at least. It's terrific. You just go to Netflix. You'll see it. You tell me I'm wrong. Michael Herz's daughter, probably 30 maximum, she loved it. And my wife and I, who are quite old, we loved it. So I have a feeling.
What was the music like? What kind of music?
Well, it was, you could tell the music was written, created by the people who created the Toxic Avenger musical. You know, it has that style. It's like Rodgers and Hammerstein. I mean, no joke. You can tell a Rodgers and Hammerstein show. You know, Jerome Kern and Hammerstein are very different from Rodgers and Hammerstein. And then there's Rodgers and Hart.
And Hart, yeah.
Their music is also totally special. You know, totally darker and you know. And I think that DiPietro and Bryan. David, by the way, is the lead. He's the keyboard man for Bon Jovi.
Okay.
And John Bon Jovi came to the opening of Toxic, the musical. Very nice.
I was there at the after party, and somebody said you should have been here when Bon Jovi was here.
Oh, wow.
I've met you several times, but I doubt you'll ever remember.
Was I at the after? I don't remember that.
You were there. You were there when I was there. Yeah, that was the first time I met you.
Where was the after party?
At the Georgetown Theater in another room.
Oh, the Georgetown premiere. Yeah. He also he came to the New York premiere. Georgetown is where that size theater was perfect. The World Stages in New York, I think, was too big because it only. I think it could have run a lot longer, but it was too expensive, too big. In Toronto, there was a 1,000-seat theater, which also was too big. Whereas in England, in London, they opened it at a modest theater, and then it moved to the West End. But the theater, again, was not that big, so it was able to run for a while.
I just love that your movies are not only gore fest, but they're a lot of them are musicals as well. Just Poultrygeist really surprised me in that respect. I showed Justin the beginning of Poultrygeist with the hand in the cemetery going up the ass of the guy.
That was by the way, that was my behind. That People have asked. You're the first people I've ever told that to.
Well, I feel like I owe you dinner now, Lloyd.
In the vault.
In the beginning like that, I never would have expected a musical, but you know, now that Troma exists, you have to expect anything. I can't imagine a world without Troma. You've opened our minds to like people would say, "Oh, the Exorcist is the scariest movie I ever saw," and I don't necessarily agree because they broke some boundaries, but then once you see anything by Troma, you know, you with a hand going up the ass, pulling the insides out from behind, it just takes your mind to a whole new level. Like, shit, that can happen too now.
Well, it was a T-shirt or something, wasn't it? That the hand pulls out. I can't quite remember. You know, again, it was 2007. But doesn't the hand grab something and then drag it? Or was it right? Wasn't it something like that?
I
that
thought it was,
sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's a wonderful Poultrygeist, great movie. Again, and if you go to Troma now, there's a documentary about. We have about 5 behind-the-scenes documentaries of different movies, and they're all worth a year of film school easily. The best one, I think, is the Poultrygeist behind the scenes. Poultry in motion, truth is stranger than chicken. It's hilarious.
What a great title! Oh my goodness!
And it's you really see how difficult it is to make a Troma movie because you know, we're on very limited budgets.
Yeah, especially everything. Killer Condom. Justin, you have to hear the titles.
Well, Killer Condom, we didn't make that one. We bought the rights, and we had it for 15 years. And again, it was ahead of its time. I mean, it's a masterpiece, but it was a little too early. And you know, H.R. Geiger did the effects. It's a wonderful film, but neither the critics nor the public really got it, and we gave it back. The guy who produced it produced The English Patient. And
oh my God!
He expected what the director and H.R. Geiger presented him with at the end.
Now, did The English Patient come first? Because that was a boring movie, and I can see it.
I agree, but it won the Oscar Best Picture.
It really did. Yeah, it won the Oscar for some reason. But, you know, I'm sure he reminisced about his days doing Killer Condom while he was making the English. Can you imagine him on the set of The English Patient saying, you know, when we were doing Killer Condom, we did it this way. So let's try to add something.
It was the other way around. The patient came first. English Patient came first.
Oh, English Patient did come first.
Yes, yes. And just too bad about Killer Condom. I mean, I really hope it'll see some life because it's wonderful. Also, we bought the rights to Dario Argento's Stendhal Syndrome, but they expired and we had to give it back. But also, that is Argento's, I think, his best film, his last really great movie, the Stendhal Syndrome, and it is great. And his daughter Asia has his stars in it. It's terrific. And
you know, I haven't seen that one. I thought I saw almost all of them. Between Mario Bava and Argento, I went through a marathon watching so many.
Yeah, Bava too. We distribute a movie called we own a movie actually for US called The New Gladiators. As if it's a new, but it was made 15 years prior to the Gladiator film with who got the Oscar.
What was his name? Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
yeah, Crowe. That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, I remember hearing that Russell Crowe's Gladiator he was trying to do his own version of The New Gladiators, and it worked.
The New Gladiators, I'm sure it's on Troma now, and it's really interesting because they're all on motorcycles. And I shouldn't do a spoiler, but there's a tremendous percentage of the film that is shot with a star filter. It's again, these guys, Bava, no matter what they touch, it's interesting. Same with Argento, although I think his recent films, he's just picking up a paycheck. Stendhal Syndrome is a masterpiece, without a doubt.
All right, well, that's gonna. I'm gonna have to watch that this week.
I hope you get to see it. We couldn't put it on Troma now because we lost the rights. But you can see Beware Children at Play.
I remember that title. I have not seen that, but I remember the title. I've seen the cover of the. I'm obsessed with buying a DVD every convention, because I mean they say don't buy a book, don't judge a book by its cover, but you can do that with Troma covers because they're movies.
Up front, in fact, one of the books I wrote. About distribution. There's a book called Sell Your Own Damn Movie. And I interviewed Karen Black, who was a good friend. Unfortunately, she's dead. And I interviewed her about what's her advice about distribution. And she said, be honest. Don't try to make something into something else, like Observe and Report, a brilliant film by...
Was that with Seth Rogen?
Yes. And...
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's got and it's by the guy who works with Danny.
I know who you're talking about.
It's a wonderful film, but the distributors tried to present it as if it's the mall guy, the fat guy in the mall,
like Paul Blart. They tried to do it like it's a comedy.
It's got nothing to do with Paul Blart or whatever it was. It's a great movie, and it's dark, and it's got date rape. It's got a character. The mother of Seth Rogen is hilarious. I mean, it's a great movie.
Looks like a great cast too. I mean, Ray Liotta's in it. Michael Pena.
It was a really good movie. If you go in knowing what to expect, if you go in expecting Paul Blart, you're going to be disappointed.
Exactly. Yeah. So they blew it. They should have told the truth. And Karen Black she didn't use that as an example, but that was her advice. Don't dissemble. Just, if you made a movie, sell it the way it was made.
Exactly.
And that's why Beware Children at Play is actually our version of Macbeth. No, it's a joke.
I love the way you can take Shakespeare and twist it.
It's a wild film, Beware Children at Play. The last 20 minutes you'll never forget. The first hour and a half is you have to get to the last 20 minutes, but it's of its time and very, very interesting.
All right, that's on my list as well. Troma Now later on.
A lot of buried treasures on Troma Now. Again, Cry Uncle by the director of Rocky and Karate Kid, and basically, I think he and Stan Lee and I think and Jacques D'Amboise, dancer, they were kind of my role models, I have to say, and mentors, no less.
You've had some great mentors, my God.
Yeah, now, if you put them in a bottle of Coca-Cola.
I don't know what that meant, but yeah.
Well, people wouldn't get it, but you guys, are serious lovers of art, not just film. And you also like candy too, which is very important.
First of all, I want to apologize for my for my silence. I got to be honest. I've been a nervous wreck when I found out you were coming on. I'm so excited. We've had some great guests in the show, some icons as well. But you were my childhood growing up watching Troma films, and just everything you've accomplished, and just the fact that you took the time to come over here and talk with us.
I'm delighted. I'm really, again, we are fan fueled, so we depend on our fans to get the word out. We don't have any advertising really. It's, hey, have you heard? We're like, except we're not in jail. Little Boy, Little Boy, rap singer who's in jail. His album, Little Boy Broken Stupid, it's out. He's in jail. He has no backing. He has no social presence, and his album is #1. Little Boy, yeah, it's very good. I mean, he's got talent, but unfortunately, he got caught in Louisiana with a gun or something. So, Louisiana is not a great place to be black.
That's unfortunate,
especially if you have a gun.
Yeah.
He is really talented, and somehow the public found him. In our case, the public, we were on, how do you call it? Life, what is it? Those things that go in your nose, life support. And our fans really keep us alive, no joke, because we are really a cult. You know, our demographic is not exactly that of you know, Marvel.
But as far as cult followings go, I mean, you've got a pretty significant.
That's our secret. That's our secret sauce. The power behind the throne. If it weren't for our fans, we'd be long gone.
Yeah, so, you know, it's funny.
They book the theaters. They find us theaters. They find in fact, that the Spanish book deal was put together by a fan who I met 20 years ago in Spain, and hacked around, you know, maybe more than 20 years, you know, and they grow up, and next thing you know, you got a remake of Toxic Avenger by Legendary, as they all grew up on Troma.
Oh yeah, they are rebooting that, aren't they, with Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood. They got Peter Dinklage playing Toxic Avenger. You got Kevin Bacon. You got Taylor Page. I mean, it's a wonderful cast, and the director is toxerific. The script.
Peter Dinklage is Melvin.
He's a Toxic Avenger and Melvin.
Cool. I can't wait to see this.
I can't wait either. By the way, Dinklage is the star of Cyrano, which I'm hearing from Legendary big shots. I don't think they made Cyrano, but they say it's a lot of Oscar buzz for Peter on Cyrano, which is in the New York Film Festival. It's in the Hampton Festival, where my wife is taking me this weekend. She's on the board. And if Dinklage gets an Oscar, that ain't going to hurt Toxie. Huh?
No,
we'll call it a
no. That's wonderful.
They'll get a Toxker.
So I have two questions for you, Lloyd, because as I'm kind of keeping half of an eye on the clock, and I know that we've got about 10 minutes left. I want to know. I have two questions. One is, as someone who has been in film for as long as they have been and has seen as much as you have seen, if you had to, you know, gosh, I'm forgetting the exact word here, and I hate when this happens because it happens so seldom that I don't have the word. But recommend a film that you enjoy as a watcher of films. That's the first. The second is, for new Troma fans like myself, what do you think is probably the most important film of your canon for a new Troma fan to watch?
Well, it's a good question, but it's, I think, multifaceted. If you are, if you're trying to get somewhere with your significant other, it doesn't matter what gender or cis or whatever it is, I would recommend Romeo and Juliet as a good gateway film. But you know, the Toxic Avenger is clearly our wow, laser, wow. Oh no, is that a musical album or a laser disc?
That's a DVD.
DVD.
Oh, sorry, I can't see. My normal glasses are being repaired, so these are bought in the store.
But Romeo and Juliet.
I would say that's a good gateway if you're, you know, if you have a date and you kind of want to get somewhere, and it's good for either gender. You know, it's good for any LGBTQ whatever, you know. But I think that the Toxic Avenger, made in 1982, is our most famous. But I really think #Shakespeare Shitstorm, if you have any knowledge of Shakespeare or what's going on now, you'll have a blast. Well, you've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, you managed to not only understand Shakespeare, you dissect it and twist it around and make it your own, which is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. And I hope that it finds an audience. So far, it's not been good.
It's really been rejected by these
festivals. Yeah, they've most of the, yeah, we've sent it around, and you know, what are they going to do? They don't get it.
Well, did they know there's a remote control chicken with a penis? The remote control chicken with a penis.
Oh, that's a Dickie.
Yes,
he's one of Prosper Creation, but that's a big spoiler. But and honestly, it isn't. My wife correctly told me that the politics of the movie are offensive, and she gave me good edits and good advice, which I didn't follow. So, Commissioner, every time she has a chance, I'm sure. Well, I think she's making dinner, but every time we discuss it, she reminds me how I. But you know, in Artiste, I don't know if you've seen Citizen Toxie, but yes. There is a scene that memorializes the truck that. Do you remember in Texas where they dragged a black man on a chain around on cement until basically his body was totally. His skin was ripped off, and we memorialized that in Citizen Toxie. And the editor, Gabe Friedman, with whom I wrote Poultrygeist, he and Pat, my wife, and everybody said, "Don't put that scene in." Don't. And they were right, because every time we had a focus group to get a sense of what the audience enjoys, the minute that scene came on. The people who were screaming with laughter stopped, and it was too much for them. But you know, it's art, so I left it in. And tough shit. That, you know, this is American culture. My beat is satirizing American culture, and I do it a little bit a little overdoing it. But
the theme of offending people in Shakespeare's shitstorm. I thought that was the central point of the movie in a big way. I could see why people would be afraid and offended by it, but I think it was you nailed it. It was right on point.
Well, I hope that it can get out. You know, maybe you can find a theater in New Jersey.
I was gonna say, Jason, I think we should maybe find a place to do a screening of it.
The commissioner would be happy to show up, and I bet you we can get, or the actors are mainly New York centric. So
we can make this happen very easily.
Well,
I think so, Jason.
Hashtag goals for hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm.
We're gonna make, you're gonna be hearing from us, Lloyd. We're gonna make it happen.
Yes. Can we show a trailer? We have a trailer downloaded. Do you want to see a trailer?
Of what, Shakespeare shitstorm?
Yes.
Of Shakespeare shitstorm?
Yeah, Tom D'Amico sent me a trailer.
Oh, if you want to show it, it's certainly more interesting than my talking. So,
never. Let's show that trailer if we can, Bob.
Thank you, Tom D'Amico. Old. That's a teaser, and it's very old, and I have never seen that before. Usually, I've seen other versions of it. That particular version, they didn't. The hashtag isn't there. It's hashtag Shakespeare shits. I never saw this.
Yeah, I never saw that one either. I didn't expect the fart noises.
It was a teaser. It was a teaser. Oh, thank you for the Troma now. There was a teaser that had the Kubrick fromage, but that one was a version that I had not approved, which is okay.
Oh.
Might be better than that one I approved.
It was actually hilarious. It makes me want to see that movie again even more.
I'm excited to receive my link because I the fart noises, the little pieces of corn. Like, this is delightfully ridiculous. I am on board. You have won me over, Lloyd. You have won me over.
Thank you very much. And we share a love of opera. You know, it's pretty cool.
I can't wait to see Cannibal the Musical, because I want to see if there is music that I can steal from that and throw into any of my shows that I do. I want to learn some of your music so that I can...
Cannibal the Music is like Oklahoma meets the Toxic Avenger.
I love it.
I mean, it really is. Poultrygeist is not a classical musical. Cannibal the Musical is actually, the form is in fact a classical musical. And you can see that nobody got it. Trey and Matt brought us the unfinished. It wasn't finished. And we loved it. And we told them, look, we don't have money. Go to the companies that have money. This is terrific. And nobody got it. They went all around the horn with all the big companies, all the you know, cable TV, whatever was possible in those days. And they came back to us. We were the only ones who got it. And we had them shoot the opening. We added that, which is a little more Troma / Monty Python. And the songs are wonderful.
They are fun. I have the soundtrack. Yes.
You know, the love song, When I'm on Top of You.
About his horse.
Then you see it's Trey on top of his horse, and he's singing it to his horse.
Yes. It's so worth a watch, Justin. Watch it.
Genius. Those guys are so talented. And South Park is better than ever. No joke about it.
Oh, they're absolutely brilliant. Lloyd, and you are absolutely brilliant. I can't thank you enough for taking the time. And thank the commissioner for letting us borrow you before dinner.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you for making this a little earlier, because we had Blue Apron for dinner. Have you tried Blue Apron?
I heard all about them. I heard that's worth a shot.
Somebody delicious.
Was telling me it's wonderful.
Go on my Instagram. You can meet the Blue Apron trophy wife. I have to go back into time. But you will get a meal that would cost you probably $50 to $100 a serving. You get 2 very generous servings, literally $100 each. And they have a vegetarian option, which we take. And but all their ingredients are, you know, if they have an avocado in the thing, you know, you get all the ingredients, and then in about 20 minutes, you make this masterpiece, and it's fabulous, no joke.
I'm going to look into it.
Yeah,
thanks for that plug.
They're going to be, I've heard they're going to be releasing frozen Blue Apron, so you can just you know, take it out of the freezer, and there you presto, there you go.
Idyllic. Lloyd, thank you again. You're a gem. I appreciate you. And I hope Troma lives forever.
So do I. Please visit the Troma building if you're in beautiful Long Island City, and I'll take you to a delicious ethnic lunch of your choice. And meanwhile, let's get a theater in New Jersey. We'll have the New Jersey, right? Tromaville, New Jersey. We'll have the New Jersey premiere, theatrical premiere.
I'm all about it. Thank you. We're going to make it happen. I'll talk to you this week as soon as I get that theater underway. I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, who knows? It might be the American premiere. I think we've only had I don't think we've had any theatrical runs, but the only festival we had was Fantasia, which in my opinion is the best curated festival. It's in Montreal. Fantasia, it goes for a month, but the curators, I really think they are the best. You know, they have a month of movies, but each one is, even if you don't like the film, each film they choose is worthy and is worth seeing. And
there it is.
There it is in the show. So, all righty, I guess you guys want to go.
I'm getting the signal from the producer. We've got to wrap.
All righty. Well, please thank the producer, and
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you,
George
everybody.
Clooney, wait, I see George Clooney in the backstage there. So tell him to get people use his power to get people to vaccinate. I don't understand the celebrities don't really. They're not pushing vaccination. I don't get it. You know, that 18-year-old young cis-identified woman whose name I can't remember, rock star. She tried, but we need.
We're all trying. I get it.
We need, you know, we need this people. The role models have to go out there and say, "I got vaccinated."
Oh, that's a whole other can of worms we can talk about another time.
Next episode, we'll get into that, Lloyd. And again, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you.
I really appreciate you.
You're great, and I had a good time. Thank you.
And I'll talk to you this week.
Thank you, Mr. Pollock, and thank you, opera man.
Love you, man.
Hashtag, you'll hear Sans. You'll hear Samson and Delilah. Beautiful.
Hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm. Troma now. Watch it.
Hashtag, remember, hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm. All righty. Talk to you soon. And please thank the producer.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.